Hey gang, welcome back to another video. Now, one of the best ways to set your Halloween display apart from the rest is with the addition of custom elements. Now, this can be anything from columns to tombstones and even smaller details. So in this video, I'll show you a quick and easy method to add a unique touch to your haunt with some custom finials. So let's get to it. For this build, I'm going to start with a few supplies, including some 5mm EVA foam, a fresh razor blade, a silver marker, and a cutting mat. This method will work with any symmetrical design you can come up with, but for the sake of this video, I'll be going with this simple diamond design. I made myself a quick template for this build, and I've left a download link in the video description if you want to make some for your own haunt. With a sharp razor blade at the ready, I could get to cutting my template. Once the main piece of the template was cut out, I grabbed a silver marker and a piece of 5mm EVA foam and traced the design onto the foam and could get to cutting out my first piece. I repeated this step for the two fin pieces and then could get to gluing everything together. The best method I've found for gluing EVA foam to itself is to use contact cement. So I'll apply the contact cement in light layers along the long edges of the fin pieces, as well as the centers of the main piece. You can then set them aside until they're slightly tacky, or if you're impatient, you can use a hairdryer or a heat gun to speed up the process. Now that the glued edges are tacky, I can press them together, making sure to align the fins the best I can, since the bond will be permanent and adjustments aren't really possible once the two edges have come into contact. And just like that, we've got the top of our first finial. Next up is the lower collar piece. This will also get cut from my template, the design transferred to the foam, and then cut with a razor blade. This piece will be glued to itself, so I'll add a bit of contact cement to the short edges, hit it with the heat gun to speed up the drying process, and when the contact cement has gone tacky, I'll press the edge together into a collar, and then I can slide it over the end of a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. I'm leaving this piece loose since I want to be able to adjust the position when it comes time to glue the collar to the pointy end of the finial. I'll apply contact cement to the inside of the collar and also to the lower angle of the fins. And once they're ready, I'll press them together to complete the finial construction. At this point, you could give it a quick coat of paint and call it a day, but I wanted to do a little extra. I grabbed some black acrylic paint and added some baby powder to thicken it up so that I could apply a quick texture coat before I paint my fence piece. I eyeballed the amount of powder to paint, and when it had a bit more body than normal, I grabbed a brush and got to stippling the thickened paint all over the finial and pipe. This technique is the same as the baking soda method I've used in other videos. I figured baby powder might be something most of us have sitting around, and that it works just as well. You can add as much texture as you like, and once you're done, you can set it aside to dry before applying a top coat of black paint to the entire piece. Now that everything is dry, let's give this a quick and dirty rust paint job to exaggerate the texture, starting with a caramel-colored spray paint. This color gets applied from a distance, and I'll half press the spray cap to encourage the paint to sputter. This will allow the black base layer to still show through while adding our first of two rust colors. I'll continue to apply this first color until I'm happy with how it looks, and then I'll switch to a bright brick red acrylic paint and we'll just hit the edges to really bring out the shape of the finial. While I know this color is pretty garish, it's important to consider that most people will be seeing this at night, so you may need to go a bit heavier in order for it to show up under haunt lighting. Now you could leave it just like that, but it's just a bit too bright for my taste. So I'll grab my black and caramel spray paints and we'll dust the piece to help blend it all together. And when I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to call this one done. Now, while it may cost you less in time to purchase finials, this method allows you the opportunity to create something that's unique to your haunt. And it's that kind of attention to detail that will set it apart. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But most importantly, go make something.